Hey T babes, welcome back to my channel. When it comes to people in your life, it's good to evaluate your relationships that you have with people, whether that be family members, close friends, any of that. Someone that you talk to often or hang out with often, it is important to evaluate those relationships from time to time. And if you know that you want to be treated a certain way in life, that's another reason why you should evaluate those relationships. Because we cannot just allow ourselves to be used, taken advantage of, not treated the best. We have to care about ourselves. People will use you. It doesn't matter if they're your so called best friend or a family member. A lot of people don't genuinely care about you and they want to use you. And it could be because they don't have any other friends and they want a person to do stuff with, or it could be because you know that you're going to pick up the slack that they lack if it comes to like money or other things. If you're anything like the way I used to be, people just know that they can call on you, that you'll always be available to do things, that you just will always make time for them. They just always know that they can play with you, to be completely honest. If you're not being selfish and you're being too nice, people just know that they can play with you. And when you realize that a person has not been treating you the best over the years, or maybe they just started to like kind of treat you not so good, and you know for a fact that you didn't do anything wrong, and they haven't stated how they felt about you, they haven't stated that you did anything wrong, but they just start acting weird. I mean, you can definitely talk to the person about their behavior, but if it's someone that you know is going to play dumb or act very innocent, like, throw rocks and hide their hands, and you just don't want to deal with that and you don't even want to deal with that conversation, I say take some time away from them until they start to treat you how you're supposed to be treated, depending on the relationship. A lot of people don't want to just immediately cut their family members off, especially if they are very close with their family members. And also friends. Some people have had friendships for years, and their first immediate thought is not, oh, I want to cut this person off because, say they didn't do anything crazy, like, sleep with your boyfriend or something, but let's just say that they are a little selfish when it comes to you guys and your friendship, and they tend to use you in some ways, and they could be subtle ways, but still, if you notice it, do not ignore it. These are signs that you should, one, take some time away from that friend, or two, when you guys do, hang out and stuff like that, start treating them how they treat you. Stop going above and beyond for people that would not go above and beyond for you. And also, when it comes to these friendships, some people are very inconsiderate. Some people, they will call themselves your best friend or your close friend or whatever the case is. But say, a friend wants to do something and you can't really do it because you're not in like the financial state. And say they are in a great financial state. If this person is your best friend, they should have no problem with, doing things for you every once in a while as you should do for them. If that's like, going out to eat or whatever the case is. I had a friend who was very inconsiderate, and this person used to call me her sister. She acted like we were best friends, and she ended up wanting to take a trip to Vegas. And at the time, I had I was looking for a new job, and I just had a lot going on at the time. Plus I had rent and all this other stuff that I was paying. And she knew about these things, you guys. She knew that I had a lot going on financially, and I wanted to try to go, but I was supposed to be starting a new job, and they were not they were not very lenient about missing days when you first started. It doesn't matter if you already had a trip planned or anything. This job was very strict about your schedule when you first started and strict about not missing any days. And I told her that. And she took it upon herself to buy me a plane ticket without even saying, hey, do you want me to, just get your plane ticket and then you can, whatever, because I really want you to go. No, she took it upon herself after knowing that I was going through some financial hardships and she wanted me to go so bad. I was her only friend for real. I mean, she had like a couple other friends, but I known this girl for years, like all of childhood up until adulthood. We were best friends, and I wasn't really, I was never the type to just have, I mean, I had financial things, here and there, but I never really had like super, super tough financial problems. And this was my first time going through like this financial hardship. And instead of being considerate and saying, oh, you know what? She just got a new job. She's supposed to be starting it. She's already telling me that they are strict about her work schedule. Plus, she would need money to go to Vegas. She would need money there to, for the activities and stuff. On top of that, she has bills. So her money is going to her priorities, Instead of thinking that she ended up getting a plane ticket and told me after. She was like, oh, I got you a plane ticket. Mind you, like, she knew all my information because we were best friends for years, supposedly best friends for years. And she got a plane ticket and she was like, hey, I just got you a plane ticket. And I'm just like, okay, well, it's not even just a plane ticket. I would need money to be there as well, like, and I don't want to just, other people were going on this trip, but I was like her closest friend that was going. And I'm like, okay, well, I would still need money as well to, go on this trip. And, I told you everything that's going on. And I ended up just telling her, reiterating that, hey, I asked my job. Basically, they don't care about this trip coming up. Like, and at the time, I really just needed to take the job, you know? Like, and instead of, you know, being considerate, she was upset. And then she was just like, oh, well, just pay me back for the plane ticket whenever you get the chance. And I'm just like, well, I never even told you to get this plane ticket. Mind you, I had other things going on. So it wasn't going to, you weren't going to get the money anytime soon. Also, she said that she couldn't get a flight credit or anything. Like, basically, it was a done deal. She couldn't get anything for the ticket. And I'm just like, well, why would you get the ticket knowing that I I mean, that was a nice thing to do, but you're being inconsiderate about all the other parts. The part that I'm going to be there and I need money to be there. I need money to do whatever. And then as soon as I say I can't go, you're like, oh, well, just pay me back for the ticket as soon as you can. And I'm just like, girl, like, mind you, this person, I knew how she treated other people, especially like when it came to guys. I'm not going to go into deep detail, but I can say it would be guys she didn't even really know. And she treated them better than she treated me as her supposed best friend. And from that point on, I said, you know, this girl is all about herself. And honestly, she wasn't the only person that was like that, that was all about themselves. So whenever you think of, when you're reevaluating situations, when you're evaluating your friendships, think about stuff like that. Think about things that happened. And, you know, it's good to forgive people because, you know, that's what we're supposed to do. But also look for patterns in people's character. How do they act when it comes to you? You know, if they see you, if you're this is your supposed best friend, and they've never been in like a bad situation before like this, and they come across a bad situation, and you treat them like this, but yet you talk to them every day about new iPads and new whatever that you're buying, new shoes, new whatever. If you talk to them every day about things and you don't really care, or you're not being considerate of what they have going on, the least you could do is not talk about all these new things that you have gotten, or the least you could do is show some sympathy. Like, you're making it clear that you don't care about this person's situation, but you want to continue to be friends with them and talk to them about guys and just all this other stuff that just isn't important right now. Like, that is, and that is just one example of how someone can be selfish. And it may not seem like super selfish if you're like, oh, well, she did buy the ticket. Yeah, but she was expecting the money back when nobody asked her to buy it. And it was already I was already in a bad financial state. So that's just one example of someone not being a good friend to you. And at the end of the day, I have did so much for this friend. I've did a lot for all of my friends and all the people in my life. So if you're anything like me, where you've did a lot for people in your life and you're not really seeing that being returned to you, then it's time to start moving accordingly, because people are always going to do what's best for them. So you have to do what's best for you always. And don't do things just because you want people to do the things back for you. But in a good friendship or relationship in general, it should be a take and give and take relationship. Yes, always do what's best for you. And like I said, if you guys recognize getting treated badly, or recognize just getting treated in a way that you would prefer not to be treated, start acting accordingly. And at the end of the day, you need to say, how is this going to benefit you? Because that is what other people are doing. Other people are doing stuff because it benefits them. They're not doing things for you. They don't have your best interest at heart. So at the end of the day, just put yourself first and always think about you at the end of the day, because best believe if someone doesn't want to do nice things for you, or give you compliments, or show you love, or show up to your events, or anything like that, if someone doesn't want to do it, they're not going to do it. It doesn't matter how close you think you are to the person. It doesn't matter if they're your family member. It doesn't matter if this is your best friend and they've always been there, or whatever the case is. And a lot of the time, they won't even have a legit reason. They just won't do it. And then you'll be sitting here and you'll be hurt, saying, oh, why are they treating me like this when I treated them top tier and they're treating me bottom of the barrel? And at the end of the day, you just have to recognize the patterns that people have. Recognize when people talk to you, what do they say? How do they treat you? Do they sit here and make jokes about you? Like, do they sit here and say negative things about you and make it like in a joking way, so you don't think that they're really trying to hurt you? At the end of the day, that person didn't have to say anything negative about you at all. And just because a person is joking with you, quote unquote joking with you, chances are they've been waiting to say something like that. I cannot tell you how many times someone has said something more so on the negative side about me. Say I was going to say something about myself, but they tried to finish my sentences and say something negative about me. And it's like, oh no, I wasn't going to say that at all. I never was going to say that. And that's because that's what they think about you, or either they think that about you or they want you to think that about yourself. So they say all these negative things. They try to put negative things in your mind to make you feel this way about yourself. And that's why self-confidence, that is why it's so important to just stay connected to God and just focus on you. I'm not saying don't be a nice person. I'm not saying don't give or anything like that. But I'm telling you guys, pay attention to your relationships with people, especially these girls, because I'm telling you guys, These girls will do anything when it comes. A lot of these girls will do anything when it comes to these guys. Guys they're not even with, guys they never even met. Like, and these could be some of the people that you're closest to. And at the end of the day, they're always going to show you, oh, either I really do care about you, or I don't really care about you that much. I just keep you around for fun. Or I just keep you around because I don't have any other friends. Or I just keep you around because you're pretty, or because the benefits that you bring. We have to recognize when people are doing that to us. And I'm not saying you have to point it out. You have to tell the person, hey, I know that you only want me around because this, that, and the third, but you really don't care about me. You don't have to tell that person that. And yes, it's going to hurt to realize that, wow, someone that I considered a close friend or a best friend or a close family member, someone that I considered, they really couldn't care less. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to tell you guys that because I just had some things I was just thinking about so much, and I'm just like, no, somebody needs to hear this